Hi, I want to answer a question about diagnosing CVI. CVI helps a lot of people, or I shouldn't say helps, but helps get direction as to how your child is processing vision. However, one of the things that CVI takes away from is how your child's processing vision. So with that, what I would like to say about CVI is, first of all, you have to have a visual diagnosis. You have to have a thorough ophthalmology. If you're thinking you have CVI, I stress more on ophthalmology versus optometrist. An ophthalmologist is able to perform surgeries. They're working more with the neurological causes of vision, and where an optometrist is really there for you to get glasses. I'm not putting down any kind of optometrist or an ophthalmologist. I'm just saying that for special needs, that's just my opinion. It's not, you know what I mean? You do what you need to do, especially with COVID and everything else is going on if you're taking your child. CVI is the last thing that you work on with your child. You need to work with the astigmatism first. You need to work with the strabismus first. You need to work with the acuity first. As long as that's not involved, which I can guarantee you that's most likely not the case. You have issues with binocular vision. You have issues with weak convergence. Those things come into play, and you need to know how your child is seeing. There's a structure of vision, and then there's a function of vision. These can be literally two different things, and CVI can be a complexity of your environment, like this wall might be just too much for CVI. Your CVI can be an issue of the structure of the eye, meaning my acuity, my strabismus, astigmatism, cataracts. There's so many things that could play into that, but also the function of my vision. Am I able to functionally have peripheral vision? Maybe I don't because I have a trach or I have CP or I have other developmental issues where I can't bring my vision into certain thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's a CVI. And then there's the neurological processing. So you could have neurological trauma that causes the eyes not to have the right processing issues into the brain. But again, is it environment and neurology? Yes, it can be, or it may not be. Is it environment and eyes equal? So this is where CVI gets complex. For a young child, usually under a year of age, we're looking at more of delayed visual maturation, meaning the eyes, the maturity of the eyes, the responses, the latency of the eyes is just not as mature as maybe the body's movements are. Body movements go hand in hand with your vision because movement is movement, just like muscles are muscles. So if your eye muscles are weak, most likely it's because your body's muscles are weak, right? Does that make sense? So it's the same with movement. So if your movements are just not up to par, most likely the eye movement's not up to par. Just watch a live I just did on pre-SPML, but I talk about pre-SPML and vision, right? And the changes that are about to take place in this child's upper quadrant vision just based off of SPML. So then CVI around a year of age, when a child maybe doesn't grow out of delayed visual maturation, or we know more what's going on, that's when the CVI kicks in. I can't stress enough that when you're having CVI, that is the last thing on your totem pole you work with. And this is why you have to have a good visual examination. I have a free course, Vision in Your Child. Go through that. It tells you there's a whole downloadable PDF on how to have a successful ophthalmology appointment, right? And all the different aspects of delayed visual maturation, CVI, asymmetrical vision, nearsighted, farsighted, the basics, right? If you need more complexities of vision, I have the Cognitive Vision course, and I also have my course Unlocking the Secrets to CVI. It's still at a beta program price because it's not finished yet. It has already probably close to 200 videos done on how to work with your child with CVI. But again, the reason it's Unlocking the Secrets is because it's dealing with the complexities that can take place due to, let's say, an astigmatism. Any other visual diagnoses trump CVI. So yes, you work with your child's CVI, maybe a few toys, that kind of thing, but any other visual diagnoses come first. Please don't hear the word CVI and say, oh, I have to work with CVI, my child's at a level 4. They might be at a level 4 because they have, and I just had this, where one eye is farsighted, one eye is nearsighted. Well, of course you're gonna have processing issues, right? And that's what you need to take into consideration. So it's not about diagnosing CVI, it's having a complete picture of your child's vision and how to work with it. that makes more sense to you. You have a game plan on how to help your child. You're not helping a child that has a CVI level 4. You're helping your child to see better, right? And your child might have complexities or no complexities that are going to affect your child's vision. Mine included an infection that I had to work with, right? An infection in the head for 3 years. Of course, he's going to have vision problems. But again, to work with just blatant blanket of a CVI and what level, this is what's going to cause frustration and lack of continuity on your care and lack of progress or very little progress because you're not working with your child's vision. Nobody is expected to help our child learn how to see, but at least now you have the tools to do it, right? I have at least 6 programs on vision. There's something out there to help your child. Again, vision in your child, it's free. Just go to movementlesson.academy and you can start the steps, but it has to start out with a good visual examination. And guess what? Not all people, they might say, oh, your kid's got special needs. We're not going to examine the eyes. We have someone from England and they were doing I have a lot of people here from England actually this week. NHS, you know what I mean? And they were just like, oh, your child has CP. We can't examine the eyes. No. Anybody can examine pediatric eyes. If your doctor says they can't examine or they're using cards, then you walk out, really. I hate to say it. That's not the opinion you need. You need someone that's actually going to test the eyes for structure, optic nerve, all of that, retina, but also for acuity. So it's sphere, cylinder, and axis are the 3 numbers you really need to know how each eye is working, and then you can start working on what your child needs to do to see better. Thanks, guys.